Ladies and gentlemen, we now come to a very special part of this ceremony, and I'm now going to invite the President and Vice-Chancellor, Professor Margaret Gardner, to present a candidate for the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa.
Chancellor, Ms. Naomi Milgrom is an Australian fashion retailer, business leader, philanthropist, patron and collector of the arts. She is the Executive Chair and Chief Executive Officer of the sports school Suzanne Group. She is also an alumna of Monash University. She has built a reputation for mentoring women into leadership roles and has pioneered a unique working culture, including championing flexible work practices. In addition to her considerable and significant business activities, Ms. Milgrom is deeply involved in a range of philanthropic projects in a diverse range of areas that include the arts and culture, science, education, women's health, and many areas of public service. She was chair of the Australian Centre for Contemporary Art from 2005 to 2011, chair of the Melbourne Fashion Festival over a significant period, former trustee of the National Gallery of Victoria and the Jewish Museum of Australia, director of the Magellan Financial Group and a board member of the Howard Florey Institute. Ms. Milgrom has been a supporter of Monash's Faculty of Art, Design and Architecture, its artists and architects over many years. She's consistently supported contemporary art, not just here at Monash but more generally, through commissioning, collecting and loaning her artwork for various exhibitions. She also is a strong supporter of design and architecture, again through her commissioning work in residential, commercial and retail spaces. Her Suzanne business headquarters won the Australian Institute of Architects Top Award for Commercial Architecture. In 2014, Ms. Milgrom established the Naomi Milgrom Foundation to initiate a range of bold public art, design and architecture projects. The Foundation champions projects that explore design's close interconnection with contemporary culture. Ms. Milgrom created the vision and established the annual M Pavilion, which has been gracing Melbourne now for some years, a unique architecture commission and design event for this city. M Pavilion is an event hub, a meeting place and an invitation for artists to collaborate in a temporary pavilion at the Queen Victoria Gardens in Melbourne, and each of those pavilions then finds a more permanent home out in Melbourne but outside those gardens. For her philanthropy and drive in the establishment and ongoing support of the M Pavilion program, Ms. Milgrom was awarded the 2015 Australian Institute of Architects President's Prize. She is also a member of the International Council of the Museum of Modern Art New York and the Art Basel Global Patrons Council. In this year, she's been the Australian Commissioner to the Venice Biennale, bringing the works of Australian Indigenous artist Tracy Moffat to this prestigious international event. She's been recognised with many accolades, including a Distinguished Alumni Lifetime Achievement Award from Monash in 2010, the Creative Partnerships Australia Philanthropy Leadership Award in 2016, and as the Australian newspaper's top 10 most powerful women in business and the Australian Financial Review's True Leaders. Ms. Milgrom, as you can tell, has made and continues to make a significant contribution to the community across many different spheres, and her services were recognised when she was awarded an Officer of the Order of Australia for service to business as a leader and mentor in the fashion industry and to the community through advisory and management roles in a wide range of arts, health and philanthropic bodies. Chancellor, it gives me the greatest pleasure to present to you for admission to the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa, Naomi Milgrom.
And with the authority of Council, I take great pleasure in admitting you, Naomi Milgrom, to the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa.
Thank you, Chancellor. I'd also like to acknowledge the Vice-Chancellor and other members of the official party, and most importantly, you, the graduating students and your families. When I think about it, Monash University has been an important part of my life for over 40 years. I was a student here in the early 1970s. I'm incredibly grateful to the University Council for awarding me this Honorary Doctor of Laws. It is a moment I dearly want to savour. Before I go any further, can I ask all of you to pause for a moment? Take in the grandeur of this hall, the weight of your gowns on your shoulders, the presence of your family and friends. Take an imaginary selfie and keep it with you always. You have graduated. Congratulations. I can remember my graduation. I remember my beaming parents, my excitement, relief, and trepidation. I never imagined that one day, 40+ years into the future, I would be the one addressing a graduation ceremony, and that my father, my son and his partner, my husband and my sister would be sharing this very special moment with me. I have been the beaming parent. All 3 of my children graduated from Monash. But I never imagined that I would have the opportunity to address a Monash graduation ceremony and to reflect on the unexpected pathways my life has taken since I graduated with an arts degree from this outstanding university in the mid-1970s. And to share with you my passion for art, architecture and design. I studied languages here at Monash, French, Spanish and Indonesian. I loved how it wasn't just new vocabularies and grammar I was learning, but different ways of seeing and exploring the world. So while I haven't spoken a word of French, Spanish or Indonesian in my professional career, I don't regret for a moment those years of study. They provided me with an understanding of difference and a global perspective that has informed everything I have done. Monash in the early 1970s was a very different place. The university was just a decade old. It was a treeless, concrete, windswept campus, studded with buildings that celebrated the best and the worst of 1960s brutalism. And the occasional modernist gem, like this magnificent hall, designed by one of my favourite architects, Roy Grounds. What Monash lacked in history and tradition, it made up for in the vibrancy and craziness of student life. When I arrived here in 1972, a conscientious girl from suburban Melbourne, Monash was a hotbed of student radicalism. Everybody who was anybody was opposed to the Vietnam War and conscription. It seems inconceivable now, but between March 1966 and December 1972, over 15,300 young men were conscripted into the Australian Army to fight in Vietnam. Albert Langer, the leader of the Maoist Monash Labour Club, was an internationally renowned celebrity protester. There were mass student sit-ins. Visiting politicians were greeted with eggs. Women were speaking up and being heard. Today, such prominent activism is not so much a feature of daily university life, though young Australians like all of you do not seem to lack passion for engaging in debate about the issues that are shaping our world. But back in the 70s, I was very much on the sidelines of the egg pelting and the demonstrations. While I said earlier that I don't regret my decision to study languages, I do envy your study choices. There wasn't a faculty of art, design and architecture when I was at Monash. I would have enjoyed being able to tell people I studied at MARTA. You must have been outstanding to have achieved a place at Monash and committed and disciplined to have achieved your degrees. Now the challenge is to turn your study success into thriving careers. Don't be put off if you don't find the perfect career fit straight away. Some people do seem to know exactly what they want to do with their lives. Many others test and try a number of careers and fields within a discipline before they find the profession that makes their heart sing. I've had an eclectic career. I've worked in bars in London and in retail in Los Angeles. After Monash, I went to the University of New South Wales and earned a diploma in education. For 4 years, I was a special education teacher at a school for autistic and schizophrenic children in Sydney. I dearly loved my teaching days. In late 1989, I joined the family business Suzanne. I was engaged from the very beginning. I loved everything about the job. I felt like I'd been there before. I had found my career passion. I could see some very obvious opportunities to grow the business, and this, I think, was one of the real benefits of having had a diverse career path. Now the retail businesses I own, one of which started as a single store in Collins Street in 1939, has 500 stores. We have more than 4,000 employees and we ship product all around the world from our online stores. We have millions of fans on Facebook and hundreds and thousands of followers on Instagram. My corporate success has enabled me to explore my lifelong passion for the arts, which segued into a passion for cultural philanthropy. My love of the arts and belief that a vibrant cultural life contributes to the community socially, economically and psychologically has meant that an intense engagement with the arts has been a constant in my life. Some years ago, as the Vice-Chancellor said, I established a foundation to initiate a range of bold public art, design and architecture projects that wouldn't have existed otherwise. Those of you who have studied architecture will know Australia's Glenn Murcutt is one of the world's most admired, sensitive and influential architects. You may also be familiar with his wise words. Life is not about maximising everything. It is about giving something back, like light, space, form, serenity and joy, which is why I established the M Pavilion, a temporary architectural commission in the Queen Victoria Gardens in Melbourne. This year's pavilion is designed by Pritzker Prize laureate Rem Koolhaas, the undisputed leading architectural thinker. M Pavilion is more than the physical form. It's also about its free cultural program. It's there to debate and exchange and promote Melbourne as the design capital of Australia. I urge you all to visit M Pavilion to experience the genius of Rem Koolhaas and to enjoy our program, which will include the much anticipated collaboration between students from MARTA and leading Melbourne architecture practices to translate iconic infrastructure into wearable art forms. My other great passion is contemporary art in all its exciting and challenging forms. Over the years, I've had the opportunity to get to know and work with many of our best Australian artists. People like Tracy Moffat, Bill Henson, and of course your very own Professor Callum Morton. It has been a gift. I have seen the world through their eyes. I have been challenged, sometimes shocked. I have learnt a lot along the way. My life has been truly enriched. You are about to embark on a new life journey. Some of you will continue on to higher degrees at Monash, here in Clayton or Caulfield, or perhaps at the Malaysia campus or South Africa, India or Italy. The global reach of Monash is astounding. Most of you will have multiple jobs. Many of you in 5 years' time will be doing jobs that today don't exist. Be prepared for the unexpected and take the time to find your passion. Give your passion as much commitment and energy as you can muster. You will be rewarded, as I have been, in so many, many ways. Take the time to savour the good things in life, like today. Congratulations and good luck. Thank you.